week, we'll be covering the updates from the NFL playoffs. Pretty exciting divisional round in my mind. We've got a couple more. We just talked last Friday, so not too much news, but we have some baseball things we can cover. Getting into some of the Hall of Fame election results. Do quick updates on the NBA, mostly centered around the Sixers as well as the Flyers on NHL, and then get into the NFL games over the weekend, some of the coaching hirings, firings, and then we'll end up with some of the bets we've had over the weekend. Let's just get right into it. So Dombrowski and Topper, they talked today. Kind of gave the fans an update of kind of what their status is. I guess Brock, you want to cover which
one?
Dombrowski actually.
Dombrowski. Yeah. So he said, he said they thought they had a good deal with Bichette, and then when Bichette decided to go to the Mets, he was like, "It's a gut punch." So I mean, it did feel like a gut punch. We were all kind of like, "What the fuck?" We thought we had him, especially when we found out how much money we offered him. But you can't blame him for taking the amount he's getting for 3 years for the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, he can re-up another 7-year deal once he's done with that one.
Especially with if the lockout looming, I think that's a lot of this stuff. Like we said last week, like it's a lot of the people thinking, if I don't have a job for 2027, I might as well get as much money as I can.
Yeah,
for the whole season.
Well, I think the clubs kind of like it too because they're not locked in. 'Cause they don't know what's going to happen.
Right? They're just like, well,
these player options are very popular so far this year.
I mean, especially if he goes out there and has a good year, then another team would be like, "Oh, hey man, we'll pay you $7 million," or the Dodgers might sign him next year.
Yeah, and I wonder if that impacted his. Yeah, probably. It's like to just defer his entire contract, but I wonder how much of his. I guess it was 2 years ago when he struggled with injuries and just performance. I wonder if that's playing a toll in kind of guys second guessing. I saw a stat somewhere. It was kind of one of those comparisons between Bichette and Bohm and like just their WAR and everything else, and they were very comparable in numbers. And it's like, all right, you have a guy that he's been on your team. He's going to cost you a lot less than Bichette.
Yeah,
and you're getting comparable production out of it.
And I think the other thing too is I guess Bichette's never played third, so that was always the little like. And I'm like, come on, I'm pretty sure he can figure out how to play third. Like we're looking at the hitting being, that's what we're looking at. We're not worried about the defense.
And I think I saw something today, like if the Mets actually move forward with him starting at third and Polanco starting at first, it's going to be the first time since like the 1948 Dodgers that they open a season with two guys that have never played those positions. So I was like, well, that's the Mets for you. But I mean, they basically are just loading up on infield, and it's a bunch of second basemen and shortstops. Let's see where we can fit them.
Yeah,
but I mean, at this point, it seems like Phillies are pretty much said that they're done.
That was the other thing he said. He said they asked him about if there's any more free agent names out there, and he was like, "We're pretty content with what we got." I think they're gonna try to. The talk is they're gonna try to still get rid of Nick for spring training, which we're like, what are we really gonna get for that?
Way to keep your leverage there, Phillies.
Yeah. And they said just depth pieces is all they're looking at, just to fill in some spots. I mean, there was a random talk about Framber Valdez. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that.
And I was like, whoa, that would be a pretty big free agency acquisition, not instead of just doing content. So
unless similarly, like, I mean, I don't know what his market is right now. He hasn't signed yet, so maybe takes a 1-year deal that's a lot of money up top, but now he's got a player option, or it's kind of like a prove it deal. And those prove it deals, sometimes they work out pretty well just because you get hopefully the best out of a player. But then again, it's you don't have them long term, so then what does it end up having to be?
I think that news is about as fake as his dreads that he has, that he puts his hands through every.
I mean, it might be similar to kind of what Bichette did. It's like you use a team to kind of drive your price up, and you basically just pull the rug out from underneath of them when they think they got a deal, and you get what you want. So maybe they're throwing the Phillies in there as well, and they're like, hey, we're going to use him to
every time at free they just put our name out there now because they think we'll spend the money.
It might just be the Mets. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, Phillies, they're interested in this guy. And then all of a sudden it's like the Mets are like, oh, we can't have him go there. We have to go overpay for him or whatever. So, but one of the big ones that we missed was Bregman. He signed with the Cubs earlier in the week, last week. So 5 years, $175 million. So I think it's a good addition for them.
No, it's awesome for them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously losing Tucker, but they got to solid third baseman for the rest of his career, basically at this point.
Yeah. Yep. Did you see? Is there any opt outs or player options, things like that?
I don't know.
I
Yeah, I'm
didn't
not
look
clear.
in that one,
Not
but
sure.
I mean, he basically opted out of this last contract and
Yeah.
got paid. So I don't know if I mean you're going to run out of options. You know what I mean? Of like trying, you can't just keep prolonging your
Yeah.
Right, you want to get one
your
more
overall
big one and
contract.
be
You
out.
want one more big one, then yeah, you're good. So yeah, I think that'll be a good addition for the Cubs. And yeah, it's funny how like I was high on Tucker. I think a lot of people are high on Tucker, but once he signs with the Dodgers, then the reports come out. It's like, he's kind of lazy. He doesn't really want to,
Yeah.
put the effort in. It's kind of one of those things. Well, oh, is that the case because you just missed out on him, or
Yeah, exactly.
exactly what it is.
yeah,
Yep. You hate him now. So you're just like, he
Yep.
sucks. He doesn't even try.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he's looked pretty good for the Dodgers.
So, but yeah, they announced the Hall of Fame elections tonight. Cam, you want to give us a breakdown of that?
Yeah. So there's 2 players inducted today. So Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones both got in. Beltran. So, well, I guess let me preface with this. So you need 75% of the votes. Baseball writers are the biggest assholes ever when it comes to Hall of Fame. I think it was 11 people submitted a blank ballot. Like they didn't think anyone deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. So that's wild. I know they've been kind of historically terrible voters. Like, what was it? Griffey wasn't 100%.
Yeah,
The
which
first 100% player was
Jeter. Right?
Rivera.
Oh,
Mariano Rivera.
Was Jeter or he wasn't? One?
Jeter was too, but he eventually, I believe he eventually got unanimous, but he was after Rivera.
Mhm.
But it's just like, dude, what are we doing, man? Like,
Yeah.
can we get with newer times and not have these old fucks that just love to bitch about things? But anyway, so they need 75% of the votes to be inducted as Hall of Famer. And then you need to receive 5% of votes to stay on the ballot.
At
And
least
you get,
5.
at least 5%. And then you get 10 years of eligibility.
Mhm.
So Beltran was on his 4th year, 84.2% of the votes. Andrew Jones got 78.4%. He was on his 9th year. So
one thing I thought was notable about both of them is their coach. So the World Baseball Classic is coming up. Both of them are coaching teams in the World Baseball Classic. And I'm curious if that played a toll in kind of, let's push these guys forward into the Hall of Fame to, draw more attention to, the World Baseball Classic, or mostly just those teams. I think Beltran's Puerto Rico, and I can't remember what they said Andrew Jones was, but it was
probably like Dominican or something.
It was some weird,
Cuba.
yeah. But I don't think it was one of those. I think it was a different country that he's coaching. So,
but speaking of Beltran, wasn't he on the Astros? Wasn't he the guy he was like
he was a bench coach.
Didn't he like come up with it though? I thought he was one of the guys that was behind it a little bit.
I don't think he was. The manager was
thought he
Hinch,
was.
but I think he was something with the bench because then he went to Boston or something.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't
Well,
Beltran.
but I thought Beltran was a part of that. Was a part of that group though.
Yeah, I think
he was on the team though. Yeah,
we could look that up.
Yeah, I remember. That's why I'm like, he's getting he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
now?
he's more notable for us with being
because if you look at the list, the list has a lot of the guys who, like you were talking about, the writers are pretty stick on their
blacklisted
ways.
them. Yeah,
there's a lot of guys on that list they'll never let in there.
The McGuire's, the Sosas, the Barry Bonds.
They might not let A-Rod in.
Yeah. I mean, so congrats to them. Andrew Jones, I know he was like in the 90s with the Braves. He played throughout most of the early 2000s as well. He was just a very good defensive player. I think he had 10 Gold Gloves. And one year he had like 51 home runs. So, he was a good ball player. Our boys that did not get inducted. So Utley had 59% of the votes. He's on his 3rd year. Jimmy had 25% of the votes. He's on his 5th year. Hamels received 23%, and it was his 1st year on the ballot.
Okay.
So I think I read earlier that Utley increased his percentage by 20%.
Oh, nice.
So
he might be
likely that he can get in next year, the year after.
Yeah. And that would be like the same track. So you said Beltran was 4 years?
Beltran was on his 4th year,
Yeah. So it might be kind of similar with Utley.
Yeah. Not looking great for Jimmy since he's on his 5th year and he only got 25%.
Well, I think
it looks really good for Hamels, 23% on his 1st year. Some other notable names. So Andy Pettit, he's on his 8th year. He got 48%. Felix Hernandez is on his 2nd year. He got 46%. A-Rod surprisingly got 40%. obviously, like we keep talking about how anal these writers are and voters are. Surprised he's even getting 40%. Bobby Abreu got 30%, so he's on his 7th year. Pedroia on his 2nd year only got 20%.
Okay.
That's kind of surprising, playing in Boston, being kind of like the heart of that team.
Yeah, I just wonder how much of his was the lack of longevity because
Yeah,
he had a good what was that? That was about the 2004 time frame, right? When they were going
yeah,
up
when they
against
won, yeah,
the Yankees and everything. But I don't think it was very long. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years was his run, and then like he kind of just fell off.
yeah. I think injuries played a lot into him, but
Mhm.
and then yeah, David Wright, he only got 14%. Fuck that guy. People that didn't get enough of the 5%. So Ryan Braun, he's no longer eligible. Edwin Encarnacion, Sin Chu, Matt Kemp, Hunter Pence, Rick Porcello, Alex Gordon, Nick Markakis, Gio Gonzalez, Howie Kendrick, and Daniel Murphy. One person voted for Nick Markakis, so shout out that guy that voted for Markakis. But again, that's how silly this shit is. And I think it's like 425 ballots were submitted,
Okay,
and they needed 319 votes to be elected.
got it.
So,
Yeah, it's what a guy came on the radio a couple, I guess it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe might even been longer than that. And he was kind of comparing, Cole Hamels and do you think he's a Hall of Famer? And like he was going over just various stats that he has, and like if you compare him to some of these other pitchers, like I think he actually compared him to Felix Hernandez, and if you look at their overall numbers as their career, it's kind of crazy to see because you're like, wow, like it's eye opening, like his numbers. And maybe what we can do next week, as we're kind of dwindling down through the NFL season, maybe we can kind of compare some of those stats and go over that because it is pretty enlightening. How good of a pitcher he was, and
yeah,
someone that you don't think of. Like he wasn't one of the those aces that everybody's like clamoring for.
yeah.
He
Um,
was just our ace.
he was our ace, yeah, world champion,
Yeah.
ace. So, but yeah,
And to
maybe
clarify on Beltran, he was on the team on 2017. He was a player on the team.
okay.
Yeah, so he was on them. That's why I was sitting there going like, "Wait a minute, I
Yeah.
remember him being part of the cheating somehow." He was
Mhm.
So
He was
then
a mastermind.
he
Yeah.
went to the Mets as the manager and got fired because of what came out of that.
There you go. See,
Okay,
yeah,
that's what
yep,
it
He
was.
played for the Mets too, right?
yeah, he
I
did.
thought
Yeah,
so,
that
yeah,
was
'cause
the
I
yeah.
hated him when he was there.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the biggest thing. But no, I knew I had something right. I knew I wasn't
Yeah.
wrong when I said I was like,
Mhm.
"Wait a second, he got inducted to the Hall of Fame and he's a cheater." I'm
Yep.
like,
Yeah. So
yeah,
that they were saying that might have played an impact as to why it took him so long to get in.
gotcha. That makes sense now. Yep.
Yeah, I'd be curious too to kinda just compare their stats. I'm not saying that Beltran really he doesn't come off as a Hall of Famer to me.
Probably
Andrew
because of
Jones,
switch
like,
hitting,
just
probably
based on
stuff
the
like that.
time,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like, obviously, he was a big name when, you know, I was probably only 10 to 18 when he played, you know?
Yeah.
So, kinda watching baseball just
It kind of feels like
sporadically.
with the names on that list, and then the grudges they hold against some of the steroid users. It was like,
Yeah,
well, we
these
got to
guys
put
are getting
someone in there, so they were like, all right, we'll just throw
Yeah.
these two in there, And then they got Ellie Close. Not saying Ellie can't get in, but I'm saying they were like, all right, we'll get Ellie Close, and then like you look at the rest of them, it's like, yeah, that they
Mhm.
don't like those guys, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
no,
like
as a
Braun already get it's his first year, right?
It was his first
And
year. He didn't get enough.
he got less than 5% because he got in trouble for
so
PEDs.
even though he's only 1 year, like, once you're under 5 years off
You're
from
off,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, you're all future
Really?
ballots. Yep. So,
Wow. Yeah, I mean, because certainly to the Phillies, he was one of the biggest thorns in our side, Ryan Braun, and, yeah, he gets popped for performance enhancing drugs, and yeah.
Yeah.
sayonara to your Hall of Fame chances.
So, yeah, moving on into some NBA updates. Currently, the Sixers, they're fifth in the Eastern Conference, haven't been playing too well as of late. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Um, Currently, they're 8 games back of the Pistons. So I think there's a lot of, I don't know if it's parity or just like teams are just not playing well at the same time because they're only 2.5 games back of the Celtics for second place in the Eastern Conference. So, they go on a little bit of a dry spell there, but they're still within reach to even beat one of the top seeds in the East.
Yeah. I know
Um,
Boston turned it on late. I think they may be getting Tatum back.
yeah, Tatum's probably going to be back before you know it. I mean, probably
It's
right in
crazy.
time for playoffs. And
So
Yeah.
you're also 2 games behind the Knicks. So,
yeah, we're getting there.
I was just,
Yeah, we haven't had team meetings yet either.
Well, I was getting to that. Yeah, I was like, you skipped ahead to the Celtics. And I was like, wait a minute, the Knicks.
Yeah, so their upcoming games tonight they're playing the Suns, who are currently 7th in the West. They're 26 and 17, so comparable, record to the Sixers. Thursday they're at home against the 25 and 15 Rockets. They're currently fifth in the Western Conference, so probably comparable to kind of what we are. Saturday they're home against the Knicks, 25-18 Knicks, who are currently 3rd in the Eastern Conference.
Have you seen our last 10 games? We're 2-8.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said it, but yes, we did have a team meeting.
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson led the meeting, and I don't know. They're trying to figure it out, and there's rumors that Mike Brown's lost the locker because he has a tendency to do that. He has a tendency to do that, I guess, in his previous places.
That was quick.
And then what was it? Oh, Mitchell Robinson, center, was complaining on Instagram, talking about they're not letting him play like himself, and I was like, great. Everything's all copacetic after winning the little tournament there.
Yeah. Well, we can. What's that? Is that game at home? Yeah, it is at home. So who knows if we'll even happen? We're supposed to get hammered with snow this weekend. So.
Oh, right. Yeah, especially up there.
Yeah. But they're still within reach, or certainly they're in the playoff picture. It's just a matter of seeding. But obviously you want to be in the top 4, so you have some sort of home field throughout or home court advantage throughout. I think one thing that I've noticed, which I do like, is it seems like Embiid's playing more. And he's actually producing more too. Like he's not just the guy that clogs everything. I think a lot of stuff still goes through Maxey, but you're also seeing a lot of Paul George out there too, and he's contributing. So I think hopefully they're able to put some time together, get some chemistry like with the actual team, and then you can add your Quentin Grimes, your VJ Edgecombe. And
they moved your one guy down though, McCain.
Oh, McCain. It's more of to give him an opportunity for playing time
to play better.
Yeah. Because I think right now he was coming off the bench and he's only getting like limited opportunities. So you move him down to the Blue Coats and all right, now work on your shot, work on things just so you're getting more reps, more exposure and stuff. Even though it's still the D League, like at least you can get some game time. But no, I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what they're able to do, especially in the playoffs. It's just a matter of, all right, can Embiid stay healthy? And, because I don't think Maxey's not going to be able to carry the team by himself.
Maxey's an all-star, though.
He is. I mean, he's still averaging 30 points a game. He's, I think, 3rd. I think when I looked at it, he's 3rd in the league in average points per game. So he's contributing. He's doing what he needs to do, which is great to see. It's just a matter of, can the team gel around him and, they put together some good series. So
he does not when I bet on him.
Yeah, I know. I've done that too. I hit one basketball bet a couple weeks ago, which I was surprised. I usually never hit well on basketball, and I think I was 40 plus on him of just the specials, and he hit it right on the dot, and I was like, okay, well, barely made that one. But yeah, anytime I bet him,
not good.
So come playoff time, I'll bet the under on his points. Little $5 bet there.
40.
But then I'll score 40 exactly. So. And then NHL. Flyers, similar to the Knicks, have played like crap over the last 10. They are 3-6-1.
Yeah.
They did lose the goalie, Vladar, lower body injury, so I'm not 100% sure what it actually is, but lower body. He's been out for a little while now. Prior to going out, I mean, he was 15-6-3, and he was towards the top, of goaltenders in the NHL. So I think losing him and having to rely on Urson and I don't even know the other guy's name, but
that's when you know it's bad, but you don't know names.
I mean, that's the third goalie. It's like, do you know the third quarterback?
Even players who are on the ice that I'm like, I don't even know who that dude is. Whenever I do get to see anything.
So, and speaking of players that honestly I don't know too much about, the Winter Olympics is right around the corner. It's actually kicking off February 6th. So 4 Flyers are going to represent their nation. Notably, Travis Sanheim and Dan Vladar. So
Canada or what?
Sanheim, I couldn't remember. I think it's like Sweden or something like that. And then Vladar is like Czech or something like that. But I don't know if he's going to be available just based on the injury. So, but
nice.
Yeah, they're up currently. They're 4th in the wild card, so they've played themselves out of the playoff picture at this point. But upcoming games, they have Utah Mammoth, who's currently 1st in the Western wild card. So in the Western Conference, they're the first wild card with 54 points. Friday, they have a tough matchup, Colorado Avalanche, who are currently first in the league with 76 points.
Jesus.
And Monday, they are home against the Islanders, who are second in the Metropolitan. So 59 points, but that's a team that you definitely want to beat, like being in your division to kind of put yourself back up there. So, yeah, we'll see what the Flyers are able to do. I'm definitely looking forward to kind of seeing the Winter Olympics kick off. Always love watching, like, hockey and those types of things. It's similar to the World Baseball Classic. Like, it's just
What's the one? Shuffle or
the
curling.
Curling, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I was right.
sweeping.
Yeah, I was saying shuffleboard, but I was like, that's the bigger scale.
No, yeah, that's great. I love the commercials too, where it's like you have the dad and the mom in the kitchen, like they're sweeping the. But now looking forward to the Olympics kicking off. So yeah, let's get into some NFL. I guess the most recent coaching fire after an early exit in the playoffs. Sean McDermott was let go by the Bills. I think a lot of Bills fans would probably say it's been time. I mean,
I don't know. The census I've seen is that it's like shock.
Yeah.
I think people are more. They would have rather seen the GM be done than McDermott.
Mhm.
They thought about keeping McDermott together and try to win with that, but then get a new guy to get talent in.
Well, and I think, like, if you look at it too, it's like McDermott's a defensive guy, and the part of your team that's been the worst is the defense.
Yeah.
Like, for quite a few of the years. I mean, they've never been able to stop Mahomes.
I think it got a little better down the stretch this year. Like they were third and going into the playoffs, passing defense wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, McDermott goes. So that's another, pretty nice coaching spot there of having Josh Allen. It's like, all right, can we remake this defense? Can we bring in a new defensive coordinator? Whatever you're going to end up doing. But that's a pretty,
Attractive job.
Yeah, it's attractive.
Do you think that Harbaugh is
regretting going to New York?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, like, what are the most attractive jobs? And, we kind of said, like, New York actually is one of the top ones because you have a quarterback, receiver, running back.
Yeah, you got some
young
talent there.
D-line.
Good defense.
But the opportunity to coach Josh Allen's probably very attractive to a lot of
Speaking of running
candidates.
backs, you got James Cook.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they don't really have much on the receiving front at this point. Keon Coleman, I know he was good to start the last year, and he's been kind of in and out this year.
He did play in the playoff game. He's been kind of, but he's been, like I said, he's been in and out.
He hasn't been the guy they
He's
were
been
expecting.
sounded like an attitude problem, they thought.
So if they want another attitude problem guy, I'm sure we can send AJ their way.
I've already seen a tweet saying, like, they should go get him.
Well, I mean, ideally, and I'm sure we'll talk about this in a couple of weeks when we go over the offseason for the Eagles, but, if you can, similar to the Bichette thing, if you can get two teams bidding against them and you've got New England and you have Buffalo basically contending to, it's like, that's how you're going to get your best value out of it. And, if it's draft capital, obviously, Howie loves his draft capital.
I would be able before the draft in that way.
Oh, 100%. So you can go up and get a receiver.
Yeah, so you can get picks.
And I would focus on any Ohio State receiver because it seems like those are the guys right now. Like, there was a run where LSU was the guys back with, Justin Jefferson and
or if we get up high enough, we could get the Oregon tight end. I mean, that's early stuff. That's stuff coming up, but
yeah.
But we'll need one of those because we're going to lose Dallas probably.
So. I don't know if they're going to do a first round pick on a tight end. Though.
No, I'm just saying that's
knowing Howie, he's going to.
No,
he should look for a tackle. If there's a tackle out there, like we should look for a tackle because I think we're a year away from Lane, if not this year, retiring. There's not. I don't think Fred Johnson's a guy.
Get his shit together too.
Yeah. So maybe they investigate. Bringing back Mekhi Becton, and he was drafted as a tackle, so you bring him back in. He can.
He even did great as a right guard, though. So he did great in that spot. Yeah,
and I was just going to say, if you
pounds heavy everywhere,
you put him as guard until Lane retires, or then you kind of just shift him back over. But yeah, we'll see. Like I said, we'll cover that in a couple weeks. Kind of what we mentioned, the week of Pro Bowl, right leading up to the Super Bowl. We'll kind of have our plans together. So Eagles are currently looking for an offensive coordinator. They've interviewed several guys so far. Zach Robinson, the Falcons OC, Josh Grizzard, the Bucks OC, Jim Bob Cooter, I guess they requested an interview with, but haven't had anything scheduled yet. They interviewed Kafka a couple days ago, and they interviewed Dayball today. So I haven't heard any updates on the Dayball interview today. That'll be interesting, especially
probably go as well as the Bichette meeting.
Yeah, probably. But
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it, there's a lot of coaching opportunities. And, does Dayball make sense in Buffalo? He
I
was
don't
there
know if
as
he
the
makes sense
OC.
as a head coach anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they saw how poorly that was in New York for the 3 years he was there. So I don't think he's going to be really getting
Wasn't his
opportunities
fault,
for head
though.
coach.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, so he had Daniel Jones, right? And he was never able to do anything with him.
They had Saquon.
And they had Saquon, right?
Yeah.
But then Daniel Jones goes to Indy and he completely turns it around. So
Right,
it's
so it
like, all
makes
right,
him look bad.
right. It makes him look, yeah. So, I mean, he was there with, Josh Allen previously, and the offense did pretty well then. So maybe there's some familiarity there. They can, that's a spot for him.
I would say a lot of these guys, I'm surprised. Like, I'm even surprised Harbaugh and some of these guys are signed. It's like no one's telling you have to sign right now.
Yeah, you almost
wait
like
till the
would
Super Bowl.
rather.
I would say just wait till the Super Bowl's over. Once it's all over, you see the whole entire, all the opportunities, and then you can pick.
Yeah, but I guess all right. So theoretically, there's only a handful of teams left. No
right,
one's getting fired
right from
if
this,
they
all right, from
lose.
these ones, yeah. But yeah, right.
So
No.
theoretically, you would think everybody's basically been let go who's going to be let go this season. So it's kind of like, all right, we see what's available. With Harbaugh, obviously he missed out on the Bills if
Right,
that's
but we
kind of
didn't
what
see
he
that because
wanted.
no one really saw that coming.
No, not with them still making the playoffs. I mean, they did fall off. They should have ran away with that division. New England kind of,
But
surprised
they really
everybody.
shouldn't have
But
lost that game.
no, they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But it's some fluky ref calls.
Ticky-tack
I think
calls,
there's just they have there's like lack of luck or whatever you want to call it in Buffalo, and they
Bad
find
luck
ways to
Buffalo.
lose. Yeah, but yeah. So we'll see what the Eagles end up doing. As far as offensive coordinator, I don't think we've seen Patullo get called for
I
anything.
haven't
But
heard his name. Yeah,
It's going to be working at Acme,
maybe
slinging deli meat or something.
it'll probably be the quarterback's coach or
or
something.
Goju High School or something.
Tyler is in the chat. What's up, Tyler? He says McDermott to Vegas. I've got him going there. What do you guys think?
McDermott to Vegas. I mean, Vegas is another one that's kind of attractive as well. They have the number
Team
one
sucks,
overall pick. They have a running back.
Yeah,
They have Max Crosby
they
and
have,
Brock
Max
Bowers.
Crosby, Brock
Yeah,
Bowers.
But that's
but I mean, it's something that you can build. Like it's obviously they need to go out and try to find a quarterback. I think they took a flyer in Geno, and clearly that didn't work.
that was only because of Pete
terrible.
Carroll.
But I feel like Vegas would make sense for like a younger coach than McDermott. McDermott's kind of on the probably back end of his coaching career because he was with the Eagles for like 10 years and he's been in Buffalo for like 8, I think.
Yeah.
So he's probably towards like the middle to end of his
I
coaching
would
career.
honestly
I don't know if he would
think
want to jumpstart Vegas over.
like Baltimore or Pittsburgh makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Steelers though, they're gonna, because they were talking about that the way they do with their coaching stuff, man. They're gonna find someone who's gonna be like they're gonna look for someone to try to be there for a long time. I mean, this is they've not had many coaches.
Oh yeah, they've had 4, I think, in the entirety
same
of
with the
their
Ravens. Like they keep a dude for a long time too.
Mhm.
So I mean, McDermott makes sense.
Well, and if you talk about a guy that's like, well, it's kind of surprising that he was let go.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense. Hey, their loss, our gain. You have a guy that has playoff experience, whether it's good or bad experience. At least he's been in the,
And we don't necessarily know if Tomlin's done. You know what I mean? Like
he stepped away, so I would assume he's done for at least this year.
He might take a year off,
right? But I mean, but Tom Brady could call him and be like, "Hey,
he makes a lot of sense in Vegas too."
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so I mean, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of stuff that could happen. That's what I mean by like after the Super Bowl. I think it'll be like, well, they'll just focus on that, and then boom, here come all this news out. Like,
yeah, but I think it also is like impacting our OC, higher too, because now you have guys like there's a lot of head coaching opportunities, and would you rather go? It's your show, or be an OC here where
alongside Nick.
Maybe the quarterback's the problem, maybe the coach is the problem, maybe there's something going on here that maybe you just don't want to sign up for.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So far, Robert Saleh, I guess it was late last night. He went to the Titans. Jeff Halfley, Packers defensive coordinator, he went down to Miami. Obviously, we mentioned Harbaugh to the Giants, and Kevin Stefanski goes down to Atlanta. Stefanski obviously having ties to the Eagles. I think it's good for Atlanta. For some reason, nobody does anything well in Cleveland. for
He
whatever
was,
reason.
Coach of the year
Like
3 or 4 years ago,
yeah,
or
like a
something.
couple years ago. Like it's one of his first
Was
years
that when
there.
Baker was there?
It
Might have
had
been.
to
Probably
have been
Might have
because
been.
he didn't do
yeah.
much when Deshaun went. So
Yeah.
I feel
Well,
like
Deshaun only played a handful of games, right? Before
yeah,
Yeah,
they traded
keeps
for
getting
him.
hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's torn both Achilles now.
He's just staying in the workout room
Yeah,
or
he's-
the conditioning room.
But so I mean, he's still a really good coach. But I think with Atlanta, the big issue that they had was you sign Kirk Cousins to a ton of money, and then you use your first draft pick to take Michael Penix. It's like, what are you doing? And then Cousins this year was benched for Penix. Penix looked absolutely awful in a handful of games,
Mm-hmm.
and Kirk Cousins kind of comes in towards the end. They kind of make a push towards the end, like
Right.
they didn't obviously make the playoffs, but at least they started playing competitive games with Kirk Cousins again. So who knows what their quarterback situation is going to be, if they're going to ride with Cousins or Penix will be healthy and start next year. I don't know, but
Yeah, I mean, maybe Stefanski brings some of the Cleveland quarterbacks. They have a plethora of them.
On Gabriel.
yeah,
Brings them down there. But no, I mean, I think as an offensive mind, he's going to be a good addition.
Yeah.
I do like. I think we talked about it last episode that Matt Ryan's now the president of
football,
operations. So good for him.
Yeah.
He's somewhat local guy to Philadelphia area or whatever. But yeah, he's done
Because they didn't bring that up every time we played him.
No, exactly. They did. That's all I know about it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
I will say, like, they love to throw that out there.
Oh,
like,
man, it
local
was
guys
just
and all
every
that. Like,
time,
we
like,
know
yes,
them
we
all
got it.
because
Yep.
that's what they tend to talk about. But yeah, we'll see what Atlanta's able to do down there. I mean, luckily for them, I think that division's consistently up in the air.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you're probably one player away, or winning 2 games away from winning the division.
Yep.
So, but yeah, let's get into the games over the weekend. So the first one, as we kind of mentioned, with the McDermott firing, Buffalo and Broncos, and this was a great game to watch. Back and forth. Obviously, the Bills come away with a loss in overtime. There was some questionable calls on an interception with Cooks.
Yeah, that was a wild play.
So I tend to agree with the call on the field of, because typically if like he doesn't contain the ball through the life of, being tackled and the other guy has possession of it,
Yeah.
it should be an interception. But then I guess they had a play in the LA game that with Devontae,
Yeah.
similar play, and
almost very similar, except Adams was
his knee was down. Yeah.
when he got hit. Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Broncos come away with the win there.
The biggest issue with that game though is that last drive in OT. With they hadn't called penalties almost the whole game on pass interference.
Yeah.
And then I mean the Tre'Davious White one a little more egregious because he grabbed his arm and ripped it down, but it's the other one before that was just the same.
Well, the one on the Bills where
there's
a
I think it was
shot to the end zone.
7 or something. Oh yeah,
And that was
Brandon
before
Cooks got
it
his
went to
arm.
overtime.
Right, that was before
overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't call that one, and then they called the probably very least egregious one. They were like flag, and we're like,
and it's like if you're gonna let exactly, and if you're gonna let the whistles go, like okay, do it early on in the game. But if you haven't called it at all, like, why dictate a game because of that?
Right, exactly. Yep.
And it wasn't once; it was twice. They did it twice on that drive.
And then Tre'Davious White made it a little worse because he threw his helmet down. And got that penalty, but.
Oh, I mean, when you get a penalty on the 5 fucking yard line, it's like, all right, game's over. Thanks, guys.
He's like,
But it's one of those points where it's like, all right, swallow the whistles, guys. Let them play. Like, they've been hand fighting the entire fucking game.
Yep.
So, the Bills obviously come away with a loss there. But it's Josh Allen. We talk about Jalen not turning over the ball. And he had some pretty bad ones. Yeah. I mean, the one that comes to mind was the one right before half where he's trying to make a play, just fumbles it.
He was running like Shady out there. Had the ball way out here. What are we doing, dude? Protect
Shady never really fumbled the ball.
But I mean, still, he was always. He thought he was gonna fumble it because of the way he hold it 20 feet away from his body.
Yeah, Josh Allen is a very good Carson Wentz.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of similarities between the two of them. Of they're the gunslinger type.
Carson Wentz is Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, from the bench.
Yeah. Hey, still.
So same thing with Pickett.
Yeah, but I just feel like there a lot of boneheaded plays out of Josh Allen this year.
Trying to do too much. Exactly.
That's what cost them ultimately. I mean,
Well, the
what do you
James
have?
Cook
4
fumble
turnovers in the playoffs.
was brutal too because they were going to go up 2 scores, and then he got punched from behind and dropped, and then they went down and scored, and then Josh Allen's fumble right after that. Yeah,
Yeah, like Cameron said, that was a
they
10-point
had all the
swing right
momentum.
there
They
because
had all the momentum
they
there.
just scored, and then the fumble right after gives them the ball right in field goal range right before half to add another 3 on top. So,
Yep.
I mean, even with all those turnovers, they're still in the game.
They're right in it, yeah.
Which is crazy because it's like, I mean, we talk about Jalen not turning the ball over, but we're still like within these. Like, okay, well, why don't we be a little bit more aggressive and still try to, like, maybe we don't have to worry about being within 1 score because we're trying to save the ball or
Yeah.
prevent turnovers. So yeah, I guess more news out of this game. I don't know. I guess it was the last play when Bo Nix tried to kind of just scramble off to the side, but he ends up fracturing his ankle and needs season-ending surgery. So, Jared Stidham, welcome to the show.
Stiddy, as they call him. I guess.
Stiddy,
Yeah.
yeah. So he's going to be starting the AFC Championship game.
He hasn't thrown a pass that's been recorded since 23.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
we'll get into our picks later, but that sucks. Like talk about
it sucks for Denver.
over, right?
Yeah,
Like you're running the game over to basically get your field goal.
The play didn't really make sense because I get where you try to get to the sticks, and try to line up the kicker, but he was way to the left.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it's almost like the kicker wanted it there, and it's like, why do you wait for contact?
Yeah, but I was like, if that's the one you got hurt on, I was like, man, that's really dumb. That's really bad.
But he got up and like walked off like nothing.
I think the adrenaline probably wore off, and then he was like, "Oh fuck, my ankle is like killing me. Like, what just happened?" Yeah,
and then the announcement, like Sean Payton, I guess, I think I heard that he had his press conference, went back, and then came back out and was like, "Hey, update. Bo Nix is having surgery tomorrow. He's out for the rest of the playoffs." Like, what the fuck?
They were
usually they wait for like Tuesday the following.
Yeah, why was it announced? Because they should have told the Patriots so quick. Like they were like, what? Like,
they're whoever they were going to play at the time. They could have held that out till probably Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, a little gamesmanship. We see it all the time. It's like you don't have to announce until.
But like Bo Nix questionable. He hasn't practiced on Monday, and they go, "Oh, like is he playing?" Like,
I mean, how many times do we?
How
many times do we like? Wednesday before the game, we find out someone's out.
Well, we did it with Lane. We didn't announce it. He was questionable, and then bam, he was out. And I'm like, whoa, there you go.
So, I mean, kudos to Bo Nix. I mean, I've never been, I guess I just
not a Bo believer.
Not a believer.
I thought his defense carried him for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, they still give up 30 points, but I mean, he showed up when he needed to, and he made big plays when he needed to. 279 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. So, I mean, we talk about, Buffalo's defense not being the greatest, but, that's one of those, we said it before. It's like Denver does whatever they need to win. Yeah. Whether it's the defense showing up and keeping the offense basically within reach so they can, take the lead. And there was a lot of games, especially fourth quarter and beyond, that, he kind of took over and was able to come away with the win. So, sucks for Denver. So I'm actually going to skip over the one. We'll get back to that, but just going through the AFC games, they had the Texans against the Patriots in a let's say ice bowl
sloppy.
Sloppy.
Sloppy. Everyone was sliding the first quarter.
I think we knew what Houston's defense was going to do. They were going to basically try to keep the pressure on and
Drake May,
do what they can to stay within the game. I mean, they held Drake May to 179 yards just passing. Were able to get an interception. And, I mean, just looking at the stats, Stevenson had 70 yards rushing. I mean, it didn't look like they had a lot of offensive production. But the problem here was C.J. Stroud had 4 interceptions in the first
terrible.
Cam was texting you and I about it. He was hurt.
Yeah.
He was distraught.
And there were still so you throw 4 interceptions in the first half, and you're still within reach. Like, that just goes to show you the defense.
Well, May had a couple fumbles to give it right back, right? Or he had a pick or a fumble.
It was a sloppy game for sure. Yeah,
ugly football.
But Houston's offense just couldn't do anything to keep up, and there wasn't much scoring in the second half. So
then one of the interceptions was a pick 6 for New England. So that's the difference a little bit right there.
Yep. Yeah, so New England gets to go to No, they go to Denver.
Yeah, they go to Denver.
They
They
go
go
to
to Denver.
Denver.
They go to Denver to face one of their ex-players. Then Jared Stidham.
Yeah.
Drafted.
So I think it's going to be, we'll get into the projections after. So let's cover the NFC and then we'll kind of get into what we're thinking the Super Bowl is going to be. So the Niners, the injured Niners.
Yeah.
They looked like an injured team. Going up against Seattle. Seattle just,
They beat
40
the piss out of them.
41-6. Yeah. Which just goes to show you, like, the fact that we lost to that team. It's maybe we didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. I certainly don't think we would have beat the Bears. That's where, if we would have won, we would have went and played Chicago. And I
had them at least beating San Francisco and then losing this round. That's what I had.
But I mean, they weren't able to do anything. Seattle looks like a really good team.
Yeah, they're on fire,
especially with the bye, and then come out just doing that same thing you were doing.
Kenneth Walker ran all over them. Yeah. 3 touchdowns, 116 yards.
They lost Charbonnet, though. Charbonnet towards ACL.
Yeah, he's out for
the other running back. Yep.
So, Kenneth Walker was always annoying to have in fantasy this year because he would get like 100 yards, no touchdowns.
Or
60 yards.
Charbonnet would take all touchdowns. And
it's just annoying to have in fantasy, so fuck that
guy. Yep. I think McCaffrey didn't do too much. He only had 35 yards rushing. I did do a bet where it was Walker and McCaffrey to go over 125 total, like combined rushing yards. Thanks to Kenneth Walker. Yeah. Thanks to Kenneth Walker. He almost had that himself. So it was because I'm watching the game and I'm like, all right, McCaffrey, can you do anything? And it's like, it's hard when everybody's literally just focused on you.
Yeah.
And same thing with Purdy. It's like you have one outlet, nobody else is really doing anything.
Just Jawan. I mean, what was it? The guy that talked shit about Q had one catch.
Demarcus Robinson. Yeah.
He had one catch, and he's all talking shit about Q couldn't cover him. And I'm like, well, you're doing nothing this game. So shut the fuck up.
And Q also had 2 interceptions that game too. So.
Right, yeah. But with Seattle too, like they traded for Shaheed and during the season. Then what's he do? Run the kickoff return back. Their defense plays the way they do. Darnold's got the oblique, but he didn't do anything.
He didn't have to do nothing.
Like, he basically just had to come out there and hand it to Walker and let the defense score. And he's like, dude, I got basically another bye week.
So scoring 41 points. Sam Darnold's numbers were 12 of 17.
Yep.
124 yards and 1 touchdown. So
to Njigba. Yep.
Yeah.
And they were saying, like, leading up to it, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, they announced that he had like an oblique injury.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday comes out, it's like, oh, he's like questionable. He hasn't thrown a pass this week. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they were like, Drew Lock's been throwing all the passes. I'm like, we're about to watch Drew Lock play against fucking Brock Purdy. Like, what?
That's the exact opposite of what happened.
Yeah,
with,
I was like,
Bo Nix in Denver.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they're like, oh shit, we got to let everyone know right now.
That like he's
having surgery
going
tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And Seattle's like, no, we ain't saying shit about Sam Darnold.
So they had a couple rushing attempts. I think that was kind of the mindset that they had there. Walker had 19, Shaheed had 2, Charbonnet had 5. Jones Jr. had 6, and even Barner had a rushing attempt. So it seems like they were just trying to run the ball and probably keep, Darnold from having to throw it much.
So, and upright.
Yep. But Seattle's moving on to the championship game, and their opponent is another great game. Rams Bears. So not a lot of scoring to this one, but let's put it this way. They moved the ball within the 20s.
Yeah.
Both teams just went up and down the field, but they would just find themselves in, either turning the ball over or, just not capitalizing and converting. So Caleb Williams had 3 interceptions. Stafford didn't throw for a touchdown, but the overall score, Rams win it in overtime 2017. I think probably one of the best plays I've ever seen in my life was that pass that Caleb threw.
I think that was also the worst defensive back rep I've ever
seen. God, yeah.
Oh he ran 30 yards behind line of scrimmage and just chunks it, and then the guy's open. I'm like,
yeah. And it's like, was it so they're looking at it like, oh, is there a little offensive pass interference here? And it's like, not really. He didn't push off. It's like he just held the guy there.
They just kind of
and then let go.
Separated. And it was just
he dropped back 3 yards. The other guy just kind of looked there bewildered. And next thing you know,
I mean, sometimes the defense sees the quarterback's back and sees him running this way. They're like, oh, we're good. We ain't got to cover nothing. Then I see, he throws it 40 yards. I'm like, well, damn, good for him.
That pass, fucking amazing. Like, I give that guy shit because I just don't like him as a quarterback. And
But
He's
that
been
was-
that
this
was
year.
probably one of the best
that was a throw though. for
throws
sure.
I've seen.
I think his throw the week before was still better than that, but
I don't know the timing of that.
Oh,
Like it's
yeah.
4th and
yeah,
4.
no, yeah.
Like your season's over if you
Yeah.
don't convert.
Yep.
He
I
just
think
throws up.
the Packers game, it was a 4th down as well. It was 4th and 18 or something. The pass where he was running to his left and threw it over the Packers to a Dunze.
Oh
on the
yeah,
sideline.
yes,
yeah, for
Yep.
the
So,
I think
yeah,
that
he's
touchdown.
was
done
a
some
4th
throws,
down
yeah.
in the 4th quarter, but it's like either way, like they're both incredible plays. But
Mhm.
I
They're
just like
calling the Iceman now. Like
yeah, it's because
Yeah.
he
Ice in his veins.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
but he also throws 3 interceptions.
Oh,
The
right.
last interception, I don't think was necessarily.
They-
Everyone was
No,
saying
they
DJ
said that-
Moore.
that's what I
DJ
was gonna
Moore
say. They
stopped
said
on
he
the
slowed
route,
up, yeah. But it was a
he
great
just didn't
catch.
run the right route. I
It
don't
was
know
a
if he
great
was.
catch by the dude though.
Oh
diving
yeah,
there.
diving for it. Yeah, coming off of his read.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I don't know if DJ Moore was supposed to kind of cut off more shallow to like that
Yeah.
because there was a big gap there, and they were saying like, you know, they were going over that play, and it was a perfect play call for what it actually was. But
Yeah.
you know, DJ Moore just didn't run the right route.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, another great game. You know, comes down to last, overtime, and the Rams come away with the victory there. So that leads up to our AFC Championship game. We have New England traveling to Denver to play the, let's say, Knicks-less Broncos. Who wants to start?
I think we're all probably on the same page here, right?
Yeah.
Patriots.
Oh yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's
yeah. I'm not. I
unfortunately,
was gonna
like,
kind of maybe think Stidham maybe could have pulled the upset. Like they're calling him maybe he could be the next Nick
Nick
Foles
Foles,
scenario
yeah.
or something like
I
that.
mean,
but
at least
Did
Nick
you
Foles
see-
had like 5 weeks prior
right,
to
yeah,
playoffs.
he's
Did you
getting thrown
see
into the
Nick Foles'
championship
tweet?
game. So yeah. Oh, his tweet was
Nick
funny
Foles'
though.
tweet was awesome.
He said Patriots have a knack for losing to backup quarterbacks. So if
Yeah.
you guys got a
Championship
chance, yeah, and championship.
Hey, well, good luck to the Broncos, but yeah, I'm just gonna go the Patriots here.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to win this one. It's not going to be pretty.
No.
Nah. I think he can. The only thing I can see is because he'll have so much adrenaline and they don't know what to expect. He can maybe have a good first quarter.
It's hard to game plan.
Right. It'd be like a 7-3 first quarter, and then Patriots.
You just hope your defense is like, all right, we got you.
Keep you
Yeah.
in it. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so Patriots all around for us.
Yep. Yeah. And then the NFC Championship game. So Rams going to Seattle to play the Seahawks. This will be the third matchup between those two teams.
They're 1-1, right?
I believe they're
Yeah,
1-1.
yeah.
Yeah, one game I think Darnold
Darnold
looked
had
like
4 picks,
trash,
yeah.
four
Yep.
picks, and then the other game was the back and forth one that, the Seahawks came away with the win late. I think it was in overtime actually, because I think I actually won some money on that one in a bet. An old Thursday night game.
It was Thursday night, yeah.
Yeah.
Shootout.
So this one will definitely be exciting. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like in Seattle, but it seems like
Rain.
anytime, it seems like anytime like
40s
playoffs
and
happen,
rain.
you're gonna have elements you're gonna contend
Yeah.
with. For whatever reason, I think I don't know. Stafford seems immune to any kind of elements. He's able to throw the ball, and
Thankfully, none of these games are on the East Coast because all the snow we're getting. So
Yeah.
Just don't have to worry about that.
so all right, I'll go ahead and start. I think I had the Rams going to the Super Bowl in my pick, and I'm going to stick with that. I don't trust Darnold, especially if he still has an oblique. I think that's going to
Yeah.
limit him. I think the Seahawks have a good defense. I think it'll be very similar to kind of the games they had earlier in the year, but I think it's going to come down to Stafford at the right time, basically pulling his team ahead at the end, whether it's an overtime or last minute, in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to go Rams.
You want to go?
I can, yeah. I have Seattle winning.
Seattle.
Yeah. I have them in the pick'em thing winning the Super Bowl. So,
Oh, nice.
so yeah.
I think the Rams are going to win. I'm just going to go with Rams. I don't know. I trust Stafford more than Darnold. And then I think Darnold also kind of like what you said, Brian, like with the oblique injury, them losing Charbonnet. I don't know. I feel like Stafford's, he's going to be MVP.
Yep.
It's going to be him. And
He should be MVP. They keep talking about May, and I'm like, Stafford's got like 11 more touchdowns in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, how do you not?
Yeah, but May won the division. They were
Right.
14-3.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I know.
or
Yeah.
13-4, whatever the record was. But again, it's just
14-3.
I think that the Rams will be able to, be enough offensively with Puka. Devontae Adams is getting back healthy. They still got their running game, so we'll see.
Yep. Let's jump into our bets. I think the bets we put in over the weekend did absolute trash.
I know our
Yeah.
anytime touchdown tight end strategy did not work.
Yeah, it did not work out.
Did
Did
not
not work out this week.
Wasn't National Tight End Week.
Clearly.
No, yeah, every pick that we submitted was wrong.
Yep.
I had Niners +7. Brock, you had the under 41 in Houston, New England, and Brian, you had Buffalo money line, and then we had Hunter Henry, AJ Barner, I believe is his name, and then Colston Loveland for touchdowns. And I think Loveland got hurt.
Loveland got the last one. He did hit.
No, he didn't.
Damn.
Oh, was it Komet?
What was the under?
41.
Oh, they scored 44.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always close.
So
You have to tease it.
Yeah, I know, right. Just like,
yeah, so those picks are bad. Are we gonna make? We'll still make picks and submit them. We don't need to do it right now.
no, yeah.
Yep.
The Pats are 5-point favorites on the road, and Seattle is only -2.5.
So it's basically a pick 'em.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we'll put together I guess we're going to have to do overs and unders and all that. With just 2 games.
They've even got spreads out on the potential Super Bowls.
Oh wow.
So those games aren't until Sunday, right?
So if the Seattle and Broncos, I don't know why Bet Rivers is doing this. If Seattle plays Denver, Seattle will be 8.5-point favorites. If the Rams play the Patriots, the Rams are 3-point favorites. If the Rams play the Broncos, they're 8.5-point favorites. And then if Seattle and New England meet, Seattle's favored by 3.5.
I guess the 8.5 over Denver kind of makes sense because Seattle. They're both going. They're basically evenly matched, is what they're saying. The Rams and Seattle. So on a neutral field, they're both 8.
Yeah.
Point. So, but as for bets, I mean, we can get into last night's game. So Indiana comes away with the national championship win. They ended up beating Miami. It was actually a closer game than I guess the first half kind of dictated. It was 10-0 going into half, Indiana. And it didn't seem like Miami was able to move the ball very much, at least in the first half.
Yeah.
So at halftime, I was like, let me just make sure Miami loses this because I didn't really care for Miami. So I decided to put a $10 bet. And it's not Miami. I just don't like Carson Beck. So it's just him. Miami, the team, I have nothing against them. It's just I don't really care for Carson Beck. So at the time it was plus 750. So I boosted it. So I put $10 on it. It'd been 10 to win 100. I was like, all right, well, Miami wins, then I get $100. If they lose, which I'm fine with, I lose out on 10. So, but yeah, after that, I think they scored like shortly after halftime, and it was 10-7, and they just were never able to stop Indiana.
Yeah. This is the first college football playoff championship game that wasn't a 2-score game in halftime, I believe. Like every national championship for the past, since they've been doing this playoff, has been just an absolute blowout. Indiana has been beating the shit out of every team they played this year. So I stupidly had bet Indiana to cover 8.5 and then the over. And the over, was it 27-24 was the final?
It's 27-21.
So the over under, how stupid Vegas is, was 47.5. So the over just hit, but Indiana didn't cover for me. So
yeah. Yep, I told you before I don't like betting college football. I'm not a big spread money line kind of guy. I like to do the specials, and with college, it's very hard to pick parlays and stuff just because they don't allow you to bet on players or those types of special.
That's so weird.
Special bets.
You can bet on the sport itself, but you can't bet on individual players, even though they make money.
I'm sure it'll change.
It's just Bet Rivers.
Okay. Okay. It's just a specific app.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. So other than that, I hit a bet on the Bears thanks to Caleb Williams. So that was nice to watch, especially the touchdown that he threw. Basically, I needed it to go to overtime to help. I think I was like within yards. I needed him to go over. At the time, it was 225, and I think that pass obviously put him over. But going into overtime, definitely helped me win that one. So that was a nice bet. Did you have anything hit?
No. Well, I'll set up this week.
So, all right. Well, maybe this week will be a little bit better. So,
Odds aren't against me.
Yeah, so as always, thanks everybody for listening. If you have anything that you want us to cover, especially now that Hall of Fame's out, if there's players that you guys want us to compare, like I think we're going to try to do anyway, or any
How
thoughts
anybody
on,
thought should have got in.
yeah, certainly send us some things to talk about through mailbag. Check our socials for all that info, and yeah, until next time. Cheers,
Cheers.
everybody. Thanks.